Pre-game the show.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can accidentally get too drunk.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that can happen.
I had to edit a lot of this shit out. So I was just like saying stupid shit.
Hey, that's life though, man.
And I was being redundant.
Mm-hmm.
Asking stuff I had already asked. I was like,
but it's hilarious. It's like now that we got things to record, audio, video, it's when you capture yourself and then you look back at it or listen back at it, you're like, oh, I want to edit this. That's like we go our whole life without any edits.
right.
But now we're just able to capture it and be like, oh, you know what? I think I should learn from this, which is dope. Especially with music. We would record a lot of our sets. And, oh man, sometime it would be like, listen to it would be like nails on a chalkboard. If you know you messed up somewhere on the set, or if you know something happened, and just hearing it back. But you don't do that same mistake the next time.
Right.
Or at least you try not to, and then you might flub somewhere else. But it's all just like I guess you're on the trying to get to reach perfection in a sense. Fire!
That means the cookies are now ready to eat.
Do you need to take them out of the oven or anything?
No, I set timers for when I take them out. So when
nice.
they're the optimal cool enough to eat, but because the cooler they get, the harder they get.
Oh yeah.
They fall apart. They're too brittle when they first come out.
Yeah. But this thing's good though.
Oh no.
Yeah, I like peanut butter cookies. So yeah, here we are again.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Nashville Artist Podcast. I'm Jordan, and today Jeremyck Smith is the guest.
Here we go. It's your boy, Dutty Myck.
Yeah, here we go. Third time's a charm. So, what part of Nashville are you from again?
I grew up in Hermitage, which is like close to the airport, and then also like South Nashville, like Edge Hill area, living with my grandma, and then my parents live in Hermitage.
How long did you live in each part?
Well, I would say my parents, I guess it was like the year before I was born, they bought the house in Hermitage. So I lived there for the most part. And then just for different times in my life, I would stay with my grandmother, either to go to school or to, I lived there too when I went to college. So home base was still Hermitage, but it's like really wherever the fam was.
Nice.
All over the place. And then at different times, I lived in Bordeaux, which is like North Nashville, kind of close to like North Nashville, going into like Ashland City area. I lived in Donaldson, which is by the airport, which I like that. It was very chill vibes, a lot of old people, a lot of it was an interesting time in my life. Then I lived in Antioch, and that was, man, I miss Antioch because they had all that ethnic food.
Oh, yeah.
And just all like the taco trucks, the Ethiopian joints, everything that you could think of ethnic wise was pretty fire out there.
Ethnic food mecca.
Yeah. And I would go to this spot called King's Market. And it was a Asian food store, but they had a restaurant in it. So they would just use all the fresh groceries they have and make the best stuff. But this is my first time living on the east side.
Yeah.
It's all close, man. It's all close.
Yeah. And you have 8 siblings?
I have 7 siblings, so I'm one of 8.
One of 8.
Yeah. 2 sisters and 5 brothers.
Wow.
So we all stumping around Nashville or in one of the outlying like counties or whatnot.
Yeah.
All pretty close. My sister just moved to Cincinnati.
Oh wow.
Yeah. With 2 of my nephews. And that's Desmond's mom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, everybody's maneuvering and just doing their thing through the COVID, through all the changes. Everyone's just adapting.
And you grew up in a pretty musical household?
Yeah, everybody, music was a central part as far as like entertainment. and just listening to music was how my parents were always into, Marvin Gaye or jazz or all kinds of different, I guess, black music at the time. But yeah, one of my brothers who lived at the house, he's older than me, but he was a DJ, so he was always playing and practicing, mixing and all of that. So I remember that as a kid, hearing it. And my uncle Baba Musa, who's a legend in his own right here in Nashville, he's really the one where I got the first opportunities to play, because he would teach us he would teach different summer camps and all kinds of different programs teaching African drums. And so then we would be doing that, man, probably definitely since kids, man. That was 5, 6. I don't know. That the African drums, it's like just a part of my DNA, I feel like. And so unlocking that at an early age definitely sparked the interest in music. And then I had an old piano at my house that none of my other siblings played. One of my aunts bought it for us. And me, number 7 on the roster, I was the first one to really sit down and play on it. I just like the different combinations of like tones that you could make. I didn't know anything about music like tonally yet, but I just love experimenting with dissonance and things that sounded like eerie or sounded like a mood, and resolving it to like, I guess the notes that would be next to a key. So you could play something like, even if it's like a half step apart, but then it's like you move it 1 and it has a different tone, a different feeling. You move it 2, so on and so on. It's all different, and that just really intrigued me.
Nice. So early musical influences really influenced the piano. What would you say?
Yeah, I would say African drums like djembe and dunum, and even the balafon. Big up some Musa for it. I remember I was real interested in the balafon, and he had one that he was just like, here, just take it. And, at the time I was like, yay, that's what's up, I got it. But now looking back, it's like if you had a pretty sick instrument, it was made out of wood. And, it was pretty fragile. Well, it was sturdy, but it was made out of wood and string, so could have easily just broke the thing.
Right.
But, it's like, oh, he saw I had an interest in it, so he let me borrow it for, I don't know, years. I finally gave it back to him one day, but I had a lot of people in my life that when they saw I had an interest in music, then they catered to that. And like with the piano, I started playing that, and I always joke about, I think my mom was just tired of hearing me play just all kinds of crazy stuff and pushing random buttons, that she put me into lessons. But it's such a blessing to look back and realize my mom would put all of us through lessons or whatever we wanted to do. I had a brother who was playing cello for a while until he kind of got out of that phase, and then he was really good at art, so he went more in that direction. But anytime we show interest in any instrument, somehow my mom would find a way to pay for a trombone or pay for a trumpet or pay for these lessons. And it just amazes me now, and I definitely carry that with me to this day, just being grateful for that. Because without that, my interest for music would, it'd probably still be in a box somewhere, tucked in the back of my mind.
Oh, so that's awesome. So she really cultivated your interest in creative.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Was she like that with almost anything? Oh, he's really into this, we'll let him play with it. Or
she was like that with, I guess she really just catered to whatever we were into. Like,
that's awesome.
And we were all just into music, and I think of it now too, she just all these things that kept us busy instead of having downtime to get into trouble or do stuff that wouldn't be beneficial to us. So yeah, big ups to mom.
Yeah. Gotta have that creative freedom.
Yeah.
I always say if I ever have children one day, I'm gonna do whatever the hell they want to.
Yeah. Cause it's like, man,
you gotta figure it out.
The curiosity of a child is like a powerful thing.
Yeah, let it
and
play.
And I think about this a lot. Now when I practice I'm like, okay, I need to sit down and practice and do this or do that. It's like, I haven't done this in a while, I need to work on that, or, you know, it's all these things, or it's a task. But as a kid, I would sit and play for 2 or 3 hours, and, you know, just for the hell of it. There would be times my private teacher, when I was younger, they would give me songs in this book to go through, and I would just sit there and I'd learn that song, and I'd be like, all right, that was easy, and I just keep going to the next song, and I just play like half the book. Because I'm like, man, this shit's too easy, man. It was fun to play, but it really took, when my teacher started, I had a different teacher, and they would just ask me, like, what do you like? What do you listen to? Or what do you want to play? And I would just say some random stuff, or they would be able to play, like, a lot of these classical songs and books that they would show me. And I'd be like, that sounds cool. I want to learn that. And it would be something that, you know, would be kind of, I don't know, out of my league isn't the right word, but looking at it now, it would be so time consuming to learn like a classical piece, just the hours that it takes to learn and then to memorize it. It's like, I was doing that as a kid, just like, I'm just having a good old time. It's like a video game. I'm like, look at what my fingers can do. I look at them and be like, my fingers are evolving. They're leveling up before me. And yeah, it was I need to go out and perform and make some money, or, you know, all these other things that kind of not take the excitement out of the music, but it's just a whole nother consideration that I didn't have back then. So I love the fact that, you know, how music started for me was just so organic through like my family. And my grandmother always wanted to be able to play piano, but she never had the money to, growing up in Mississippi. And so I just feel like it was just passed down to me really unconsciously. And I'm the one who had the like, you know, the opportunities to, you know, do something with it.
Yeah.
I feel like I might have strayed from whatever question you asked me, but
no, I want you to stray.
It's like going down memory lane in my own mind.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
We're holding hands and going down memory lane.
And eating cookies.
Yeah, eating cookies. Awesome. Okay, cool. So, you and Justin grew up, probably, like, he plays trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing he also played African drums.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all jam a lot as kids?
Yeah, so pretty much anytime we do the African drum thing, we play together. And before trumpet, Justin played drum set.
Oh, okay.
So my mom got him a drum set. And my dad too, I include that, but it was always my mom who would like make the purchases or like line it up. But she got him a drum set, so he used to jam on the drums and I play on the keys. It's so funny to think about. But I feel like we've always had rhythm, and that's just from the African drums as well. But we kind of transferred the rhythm into more melodious instruments.
Right.
But it's like the drums are still there, boy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you still gotta be able to cut with them fingers.
Mm-hmm. Now, my hands are so damn soft from not playing like African drums and stuff. When I was playing drums all the time, they were pretty rough. It's like, okay. And I was like, I want to build up the callus because that shit hurts after a while.
Yeah, I bet. Just beating this.
Yeah.
Cool. So, when would you say you started getting more serious with music, in high school, or?
Yeah, I guess in high school, and I use the words serious kind of lightly because I always knew I was pretty talented at it, but it's different goals and objectives, I guess, that I wanted to meet. Like in high school, there was the mid-state competitions and stuff. And so I was playing a lot more trombone during that time, although I was still playing keys. But with the trombone, you know, I was reaching all different, you know, levels as far as books go and just getting better at that. And I was in mid-state, and those little type retreats were fun to me at that point. So I was like, okay, I'm pretty good at this. But it wasn't until I graduated high school when I was trying to figure out what I want to do, like college-wise. And then I was like, yeah, for some reason I kept on selling myself on, yeah, I want to work on cars. And then I was just thinking about it one day. I'm like, man, fuck cars, dude. I don't give a fuck. Like, they're cool. And I think one reason why I wanted to work on cars is because friends I had at the time either had cool cars or would work on them. And I was like, I want to be able to modify stuff like that. But, you know, I can modify all the stuff I want with music.
Right.
So, yeah, man, I mean, I started taking it more serious as far as, okay, I'm a musician now after high school. But even before then, I mean, I was still performing at different places all over the city, just from African drums. And even we traveled to like Kentucky every now and then, do Bowling Green Arts Festival International, or I forget what it's called, International Fest, and just different things like that. And also we played a lot with the Global Education Center. It's like our second home when we were playing African drums, because over there they teach all kind of different cultures, like dance or music or just really the full gamut. And so,
where is that place?
It's on Charlotte. Yeah, man, they do a lot of good things.
Anyone can go in there and learn shit?
Yeah. I'm not sure what the deal is at this current moment with the, you know, the
membership or whatever.
No, it's not. You can just go.
Oh.
But I just mean as far as the schedule with the pandemic.
I didn't know about the global education.
Oh yeah,
I need to go over there.
Yeah, so with them, the one thing I loved about them is they would be in schools and libraries all the time, taking different cultures to expose to kids. And, you know, that's just so important, because as a kid, you're just so much more open to learning and seeing something like that, you know? So, yeah, big up to them. Go check out the Global Education Center. They have all kinds of events and stuff going on.
Awesome. I'm definitely going to be going over there. Sweet. So, man, it's hard to imagine you as a car guy. As like a guy getting all greasy and working in a mechanic shop or something like that.
Yeah, shoot, at this point in my life, it's even hard to imagine me without dreads.
Yeah.
I was like a whole nother Jeremyck. Yeah.
Wow.
But it's just part of the evolution, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It all led me to this moment today.
Yeah.
To this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So what is it about piano that you like so much, or like what?
Man, it's shape, man. The keys, how they feel. Sexy, dude.
The shape.
Everything.
Control.
Really, it's like the touch of it. It's hard to describe, because like you think about a piano, an organ, or a Rhodes, they all have like a different touch. And so on a keyboard, when it has these different instrument settings and sounds, it's all good, and I like it. And it's, you know, a lot easier definitely to have a keyboard or two that have all the sounds instead of like all these massive like organs and Rhodes with you. But just a touch and how it feels makes you play different. And really it's the fact that all the notes are lined up in front of you. And so you can see and hear at the same time how, okay, if you play low stuff in this low register, how that sounds. And if you play stuff high, you can just hear that, like, sonically, it's all right in front of you, note by note. And so that was just a lot easier for me to translate, instead of, like, you got a guitar and you got a string where notes overlap all over the neck, which is cool in its own right. But I just like the straightforwardness of a piano. And, you know, you can't crescendo, or you can't do certain things you can on other instruments that show, I guess, you know, feeling. But there's other things that you can do on a piano to express that. And that just fits more with my personality, I feel like. Kind of just straightforward, but still loves to finesse.
Right. Other than comparing it to other instruments or anything, but why is it music that you like to do? Like music, playing an instrument, whatever.
Man, really, it's like the frequencies of it. and the subtleties of it that I really like, and how it's a form of communication without me having to say a word, you know, because a lot of times, you know, coming from your brain and what you think and what comes out of your mouth through a filter of some sort is, you know, how we communicate verbally. But when you're at a certain level of competency with your playing, then you can almost bypass the filter if you're just playing like an instrument. If you're like thinking something, you can immediately just play it. And so it's those type of relations with music. It's never been like being on stage in front of thousands of people, although that's cool and like I like that too. But it's almost just the intimacy of what you can say and do through music that I feel like sometimes it's easier for me to communicate myself through that. And the beautiful thing about it is I could be like putting all this certain type of energy or emotion into a song, and then the person that hear it has no clue. And sometimes that's good if I'm, you know, being vulnerable, or if I'm, you know, shedding something from me that I want to get rid of, and it comes off to somebody else. It's just, oh, that sounds cool, or that grooves. And that's almost like a softer way to express some of the wild range of emotions that I might feel at times. I don't know if that answered the question.
Yeah, it's a way of expressing things you can't say.
Yeah, and I don't know, I'm definitely at that age too where, so people younger seem, you know, got the social media and just have all the things, ways of putting yourself out there. But, you know, I still find there's something special in just, you know, not putting yourself out there too, and just having something that you can do for yourself, and it doesn't just go for music, but just having enjoyment of life without having to show somebody to get approval, you know?
Yeah, show people you're having a good time.
Yeah, and to make even like a shitty situation or a shitty party, you could make it look like, oh, this is the bomb, even though you might have just been standing in a corner the whole time.
Right.
You know, so...
See, everyone's gotten better at positioning themselves through their images they release.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
But then when you meet them, it might not all translate in their genuineness or originality. When you talk, they might be just a deadpan. Right.
Yeah, and definitely not to just shit on that, but I think there's something about, you know, kind of being genuine in that originality, that if you're not doing something to like, oh, I need to do this to promote that, it's like you just think differently. But, you know, I see the benefit in both. And
yeah, I mean, everyone basically is becoming their own salesman.
Yeah.
You got to be able to market yourself.
Yeah, and a lot of people are making money from it.
As my grandfather said, if you don't tooteth your horn, your horn will not be toothed.
That's true. But I don't know, me and my relationship with music it's like at first it was like a girlfriend who I didn't really want to claim as mine yet, because I was talented at it, I loved it, but I was like, I don't want to just limit myself to this one thing, in which, of course, I mean, I'm not, but as a kid, you think, oh, if I go down this path, this is it. If I do cars, then this is it. I'm going to just be orally all the time. But, yeah, it's like, the older I get, the more I'm just like, man, I just like music even more. And, you know, I used to tell people when they ask me what kind of music do I like or dislike, I'd be like, oh, I like rap, I like this, I like that. I hate country. And, you know, that's from just growing up in Nashville. I was like, okay, all the country music I was hearing, I definitely wasn't really rocking with. But then when I heard like real country, or just people playing music and it's in the country genre, it's not like commercial or whatever, I was like, oh, this is rocking too. And then it's like, most country music comes from just people in the country playing blues. And so, I don't know, I just love seeing people put something original or a part of themselves in the music, and I can respect that and vibe with those feelings that they're emitting more so than how the music sounds sometimes. So if I see that you're like putting your heart and soul in it, but you miss some notes or you did this or did that, then I'm like, oh, he played the minor chord when that could have been major and sounded better. Or even in some old reggae songs, that'll be the band would be like playing major chords and you hear the vocalist singing in minor, and I'm like, you know, that kind of irks me, but at the same time I like it because it's like grimy and
juxtaposition.
He's just singing from his soul, and that's what he's feeling. So I love those type of moments and those type of things where it's like, okay, it bypasses like wrong notes or right notes. It's like you're just putting a piece of yourself into an art out of thin air. So
everything's instantaneous.
Yeah, just instantaneous.
It just happened.
I was talking to my nephew, Des. Shout out Intro. Living that LA life now. But I was just talking to him how amazing it is for people that freestyle. Like, growing up freestyling, like, you didn't think anything of it. You're just trying to say cool shit or witty stuff. But I'm like, bro, people are just super dope at freestyling, pulling stuff out of nowhere, and like not even a second goes by before you thinking and you say it. Just like instantaneous. Like, how crazy is that? And especially that's something that you can practice and get better at. So what does that say? That says that, you know, we're as fast on instruments or with our vocals as we can think. Like watching Herbie Hancock play, I'm like, how does he even come up with this stuff where he's just like, or like McCoy Tyner, he was a real fast piano player. I'm like, how is this even possible that he can just play this fast? And to me, it's faster than I could think because I haven't practiced that enough. But to him, that's just a level he's living on. So it's
always relative.
It's relative, yeah.
To him, he might not think he's that fast.
Yeah,
he's like, I know all my, weak spots.
Yeah. He's like, I can go faster.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's not just the music that I love, it's just the discipline and just the format itself that allows, you to either be as honest as you want or make up anything you want. And it's all good to somebody.
Yeah, and it's like almost unlocking a game with yourself.
Yeah.
Like, this instrument, there's infinite number of levels.
Yeah.
How many levels do I want to take it to?
Yeah, to serve your purpose.
Yeah.
And it's dope. But man, I've just been lucky over the years to have played with, a lot of people that love music the same way or taught me through their music, or just a lot of people that I can look up to and be like, man, those are great musicians. And that helps me in other parts of my life, and just seeing how, I guess overall, just seeing how my lens of life is like, I equate things to music. Like even rough times, it's like I always know it's going to get to a better point, because it's like you got the dissonance in music, and it like when it resolves, that's like the best feeling. So it's like even hard time, I'm like, okay, I'm down with it. Dark places in my mind, let's go there, because I know at the other end it's going to be nice.
Yeah. The tide comes in and the tide goes out.
Yeah. So it just makes sense with music more so than other interests I have.
Yeah. It's almost like you can work on yourself more with music than you can with other stuff. Like you can't work. I mean, I guess you could study cars and stuff.
Yeah,
but it's not like you touch the knob a certain way, it makes you better than someone else.
Yeah. But with all things, it's like a certain level of meditation that can be achieved through the work of it. But, we're just living in a time now where you do so much shit that you don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just lucky that I can also do something that I want to do and have endless possibilities of, output or make chances to make money from it, you know. So yeah, that's the blessing in that.
Sorry, what was the blessing?
Just to have all these different opportunities and possibilities that could come from music.
Oh yeah.
Instead, like, I like science and looking at stuff about space and all that stuff too, but I don't know, being interested in the stars, I can't see many ways of making profit from it.
Sure. Yeah.
Even though there are, but I mean, the people that are a lot more committed to that than I am, instead of just like, oh, I'm just curious because it looks cool, you know?
Right. Profiting off the stars. It's, you know what they call astrology?
What?
Dramatizing the sky.
But I love it though.
Yeah,
just to see, the thing that trips me out is when you see actual pictures of other planets.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, bruh, this shit is nuts.
Or like the Eagle Nebula or the Andromeda.
And you're like, it's so hard to even imagine the scale of these things.
Oh.
And it's like going to another planet, the pressure is different, and like you could just boil at an instant, or you know, the crazy things that it's not meant for our bodies at all. It's like Earth is so perfect for us, but there's these balls of fire just everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's just chaos and shit out in space.
It's funny seeing all these billionaires going up to space, and they'll get up there for like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and come right back down.
Yeah, I'm ready to leave.
But it's definitely, you know, something.
They don't have Starbucks up here.
Right? It's definitely something that has been curious to, like, for people throughout time, just looking up and being like, what is all that?
Right. And then people, I mean, you can understand religions way back in the day, like the Romans and the Greeks when they worshipped Apollo, the sun god.
Mm-hmm. It's like,
They thought the sun was like the god, or like a god.
You just see the value in,
You can see why they thought that.
Yeah, because I mean, without it, we are doomed.
I mean, you go outside, most likely you look up and you're aware of where the sun is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like, yeah, that's throughout. It's just been a symbol of life, you know?
Ball of gas that will
yeah, that's literally
incinerate you in like half
like an atomic bomb.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So you've lived in Nashville most all your life.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is a big thing you've learned living here?
Man, how to adapt, I'll tell you that much. It's because
adaptation's the key.
Yeah, because I mean, the Nashville I grew up in is not here anymore. It's a whole different city. Even going out suburbs like Antioch, Hermitage, Donaldson, all that, I look at it now and all I see is memories, not forgotten, but that can't be relived because the buildings aren't there anymore, or can't be relived because the neighborhood is like not there anymore. So adaptation is key. I always knew, I mean, I love Nashville. It took me traveling on the road and going out to realize how much I love Nashville. But yeah, just gotta kind of mold and do what you need to do to survive and be willing to change. Or, you know, I mean, here it'd be easy to just kind of get pushed out, you know?
Yeah. What are ways in which you make yourself willing to change?
Just being humble with what I'm willing to do. Like, you know, I any job, if it comes down to it, isn't too low for me to do, you know? For a while I was clipping hemp, and that's a meditation within itself, just because the amount of time it takes. But just, I don't know, I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, it's almost like survival instinct. You gotta do whatever you need to do to survive, and then on top of that, figure out how to thrive from it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's always like, I always am interested in how people start out when they first get to Nashville. Because there's always that scrapping period.
You got to, man.
And sometimes it's longer than you want it to be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still scrapping.
Scrapping now, yeah. You scrap out. Well, you come here, you hustle.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, at the end of the day, you just got to be willing to get your hands dirty.
Exactly.
You know?
Because what you're vying for here is opportunities to meet wonderful people, the arts that we're consumed with.
And for me, though, it's like, not even that. It's just like, I just don't want to have to move out of the city I grew up in just because I can't afford it. And, you know, I want to be a part of the change and have it in a direction that, you know, other Nashvillians and people are like, oh yeah, this is like a representation of us, because I'm still here, man. Yeah. Not that it's not like Nashville is knocking at my door like, yo, you got to get the fuck out.
Yeah, you used to live here. We don't want you here anymore.
No, it's just I just think that way, so I won't find myself in that position to where I'm like, okay, I need to go live in the middle of nowhere where rent is like $20.
Right. Well, the only question you need to worry about is just how are you going to afford it? That's the biggest question. It's not, can you afford it?
Yeah.
You can probably afford figuring it out. But how are you going to afford it?
Yeah, that's it.
So don't say you can't. When you say you can't afford it, then you don't have to worry about finding a solution.
Yeah.
But you say, how can I?
That's real.
Figure out a solution.
Yeah. And, you know, my biggest thing is just, you know, seeing opportunities and being willing to take them, or just to, you know, we always think we're so in control of our lives and like we got this plan, we got to stick to, or this or that, but still being malleable enough to be aware of something else that's going on that you could either gain from or just be a part of, or divert from your master plan and see some growth in it and come back. You know, you got to be able to like weave in and out between your plan and like reality, because a fucking pandemic could just pop up on you.
Exactly.
You know?
And it's called life.
And that's just life, man. So even through all that, I mean, I've been in a pretty good headspace, because I think I just needed some time to myself, because we were just going on the road so much that I was just oblivious to some of the emotions and things I was feeling myself. It's like, oh, I didn't even realize like I needed a break until COVID hit. And I was like, oh, okay, now I can reset and kind of build back up stronger and better, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I took it as the whole COVID thing as
a relief.
Yeah, a release and a reprieve. Yeah, a reprieve. That's a good way. But just to, you know, grow from. I see that with a lot of people, you know, just the evolution that people have gone through from, you know, 2 years ago to now.
Like, yeah.
It's pretty long.
2019 to now, yeah. Mm-hmm. You have to basically, who you were then, you have to change. You still be that person.
Yeah. But not to say like there's anything wrong with still doing the same shit you were doing. Mm-hmm. But just to realize like the fragility of life and how, you know, you gotta live while you can live and try to be as fruitful as possible, you know?
Yeah, you don't know when your wig's gonna get blown up.
No, for real. So yeah, party on, man.
Yeah.
But I also think like, you know, if it's important to you, what kind of legacy do you want to leave? And, you know, all that other stuff. If that's like, you know, what means something to you, then you gotta cater to that as well, you know?
Yeah. If it means something to you, you gotta see it to the end.
Yeah.
Whatever you believe, you gotta live.
Yeah, for real.
Sick. Alright, dude. What is some advice you'd give someone who wants to move here to pursue art or music?
First advice is just hit up my Venmo, hit up my Cash App, and throw me some bones, man. and then you're welcome. No, I would say, man, just be willing to work hard and, you know, just don't be down on yourself. Sometimes I feel like we're our biggest enemy, because it's like, why are you even making music if you don't like your own music? It's like, make something you like. Or I don't know. I know there's a lot of stuff out of our control, and we got to do a lot of things that we don't want to, but you got to find something you do like to do, just so you can have like some type of balance. Oh, and do some type of physical activity, because I notice whenever I do ride my bike a lot, I'm just like in a great mood,
elated. Yeah.
But when I don't, it's like it's easy for me to get bummed out, or it's easy for me to just kind of slump around, you know. So
yeah, gotta keep the body moving.
Yeah,
test your heart,
and that's probably one of the biggest things, because you know, you just don't realize, like, if you're not moving or you're not doing nothing, then you're not burning those
toxins.
Yeah, the toxins and those evil spirits from the night before off, you know.
Yeah, and like back in the day, we were a hunter and gatherer society. You had to be moving.
Yeah,
you saw an animal that could kill you, you got to be quick on your feet.
Yeah.
So it's like we're not burning that kind of high octane energy like we used to, unless we do it to ourselves. So,
but yeah, man, any advice is just, you know, stay at it.
Yeah.
Regardless of what that is. Hustling, you're working your 9 to 5, just do what you need to do to get to that point where you can do the things you want to do.
Exactly. You're going to suffer no matter what, so find the things that are worth suffering for.
Yeah. Enjoying the club.
Yeah, enjoy the club. Because your mind is the most valuable thing that you have control over in this life. Everything else, they can torture your body, but they can't take your mind.
Yeah. Meditate.
Yeah. Meditate. Get in touch with yourself. Okay, cool. Now here's the rocker question. What is something absurd that you love?
Man, you would think after 2 prior attempts at this question I would have something better.
Bikes. You could say you have a lot of bikes.
Yeah, I do have. I mean, there's only one of me, but I have like 4 bikes. 4 bikes, and one of them's a tandem bike. That is kind of absurd, but
I mean, it's awesome. Practical.
I feel like, man, I really get into something for a moment, and then I kind of pass through that phase. Not that I'm passing through my bike phase. I still love all those, but I can't think of anything absurd. I just have crazy dreams all the time.
Really? Like,
yeah.
What did you dream last night?
Oh my God. My dream last night was kind of weird, and it was, I don't know. I don't want to go into it. It's kind of dark.
Okay. I have crazy ass dreams too. I lucid dream a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you like had an outer body where you gotten up and saw yourself?
No, but since I've been wearing this watch for over a year now, it now starts appearing in my dreams.
Oh, wow.
And so whenever I touch my wrist or my watch on my wrist, I can jump like 45 feet in the air and I float down.
Yeah.
And almost in every dream, that is an ability I can do. I can be like, watch this. All right, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Wait,
dear listener, I've been fucking up a lot with my recordings. It cut off again, so this is the 4th attempt to capture the whole essence of Jeremyck here.
Well, I would only say, man, it's like, as much as I love to be around people and party and be around loud music, it's like, I just love being to myself and being able to hear myself think too. And yeah, I don't know. I'm very grateful for the friends I have and people that reach out and even understand that part about me. And instead of letting me just go full 100% hermit, it's like they bring me back to reality, or, you know, I just have so much to be thankful for. So
I think you were talking about being on the road, and then when the pandemic broke out, you realized.
Yeah, I guess because being on the road with Roar, we're just in such go mode, like rehearsing and performing and everything in between. It's like it wasn't until the pandemic hit that I was like, oh shoot, like this is nice. Like to just have a moment of silence. And I just realized how essential that is for me as a person to feel full, you know. Because going out and even playing shows in front of thousands of people is all fun. But it's like on the flip side, it's like there's so much more that I gain, I think, from having conversations with myself or just dreaming within my own mind and then bringing that to people or having the interactions at that point. But if I don't have that time to myself to collect, then I just don't feel complete, you know?
Right. It's like you gotta prepare yourself for a social situation.
But it's so weird because it's like I love being spontaneous too, and it's like some of the best times I have are the times that I don't plan out one bit.
Right.
It's almost like if something's planned or too much thought is put in it, there's already an expectation of it. And it's like if something's spontaneous, if you're just like, oh, let's go here. You're like, all right, I don't know what's going to happen there, but let's see. You're just like open for anything.
Yeah.
So really it's just like a balance, man. And yeah, COVID really made me realize how necessary balance was. You can't just always be going.
No.
Being lazy sometimes it's not bad.
No. You gotta be able to recharge. I mean,
Yeah.
as much as you think you are in control of your person, you are just an animal.
Yeah, I am an animal.
You're responsible for this animal.
It's like, you gotta feed myself.
You gotta feed yourself. You gotta, like, I'm tired, but there's all these people here. Like, fuck, get it together. You know?
That's real. But yeah, I felt like this was a good podcast, so.
Okay, cool. Well, awesome. Thank you for being on
it. And this isn't something that I do all the time, so the first couple of trials that something went wrong with was good practice.
Definitely. I learned a lot too.